Hello everybody!
Today's video is Wyn's birth story and how that all went down. Are you excited to tell him?
Sure.
Because he's a big part of this one, I think.
Thanks.
Yes. Our kids are playing in the background. If you hear them, that's the noise you're hearing. I think I was like 40 weeks and 3 days, like a couple days overdue. Again, I thought I was going to be late. I had no indication that this baby was coming. So Will's mom was coming in to help me with Harrison when I had the baby, because Will wasn't gonna have much time off.
Right.
And yeah, so we had his mom come in to help, and pretty much the next day after your mom came in, Will got really sick.
I got sick. We were having dinner, and I started feeling really sick. I went upstairs and just started. I was throwing up.
I know.
And coming out the other end too. I was like, and that was a couple days of that, or at least 24 hours. At least
24 hours.
I could not eat or drink anything.
Nothing.
And it was like violent vomiting.
It was horrendous.
And it made me. It was so violent that like my whole body hurt.
I remember.
Afterwards, like just moving hurt so much.
I remember.
It was so bad.
And it was really sad because he was the first one to get it. No one really believed how bad it was, because
was like,
it's not a typical.
Suck it up.
It was not a typical flu. You know, you get sick, you kind of feel better. You know, you go in and out with it a little bit.
It was bad. It
was really, really bad, and we didn't really fully grasp how sick Will was. And I to be honest with you, I think I've never been sick like that before. Like ever. Or since, and hope to never be that sick again. Kind of giving you a little hint what happens to me. So I can remember that you were home, you were laying in bed with Harrison. I think he was napping with you. And I remember just this overwhelming feeling of, oh my gosh, I feel really sick. And I was scared to death. Like, I was like, I cannot have the flu. Like, this is not happening. This is not happening. I should be having a baby, not having the flu. So, I got the flu, and I've learned from Will what not to do. I just stayed in the bathroom for about, I don't even know, it felt like 10 hours. It felt like forever. I got sick, violently sick. I couldn't keep liquids down. I called the doctor. They were like, it was weird. They were just like, well, you know, it's the flu, you'll be fine. You get a little water and you'll be fine. And I'm like, I'm dying. We didn't have any like Zofran or any kind of like calming stomach stuff. I was really, really sick. I was on the floor. I slept on the floor. Like, I was passed out holding the toilet, like that kind of thing. You had Harrison. I know that you were still not well.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing up or anything, but he was. You weren't well.
I was sore. I didn't like. It hurt to move.
You see the pictures of all this. He looks like he's like lost 20 pounds.
I lost like 10 pounds in like 2 days.
He's like skeleton.
It looks so skinny.
I lost a bunch of weight too. Like, we were both like, yeah. I think it's like around midnight. My mom is like, what are we gonna do? Like, you've not drinking anything in a bunch of hours. Like, my eyes are rolling up in the back of my head. I've not eaten, and I start contracting. Ta-da! Start contracting. And because I think it's because the throw up was so violent. My body was in such a violent state that it started labor. So I think it was the middle of the night. It was midnight-ish. We go to the hospital, me and Will. I get there, they start IV right away. They give me Zofran and something else for my stomach. And within, I would say, 3 or 4 hours, I stopped getting sick. But I was, I threw up on the way to the hospital. It was a great time. And I'm contracting. So I stayed there overnight. My contractions slowed down. But what was it? By the next morning, I was dilated to a 5. And I had a choice to go home. And I had a choice to break my water. And at that point, I don't know why, we decided to break my water and go into labor. And I was in no pain at the time. Like, this was like, we were just hanging out. Like, there was nothing happening. And I remember the nurse saying, do you want an epidural? And I was like, no, we'll see. I didn't think labor would start that fast. Like, it went from 0 to 100 in like 10 minutes. It felt like.
They broke your water, and then you were like,
I mean, because Harrison's water didn't break until he was being born. So I went from, you know, I felt nothing to I felt everything. And they say when your water breaks, it's way worse. So I don't recommend that. So I break my water. Be prepared. So it went from 0 to 100, and I was screaming and screaming and screaming, and I begged for everything, and I did get an epidural. One, because there was no doctors on call at the time, and they said, you know, I think I was like a 6 or a 7, and they said, well, we have to keep waiting, and there's doctors not coming, and so I'm panicking, and there's doctors aren't here. So I'm screaming for an epidural. I get my epidural, but at that point, you're calling my mother, right?
I remember right before the water broke, you were really calm, and she was like, you know, do I need to come? And I didn't think it was gonna be for a while. Like, it seemed like it was gonna be a while, and then they broke your water, and you were like, and I texted her, I was like, get here now. Like, this is happening.
Yes. So I got the epidural, and I think I was fully dilated, like right after that, but there was no doctor on call, so they just said, well, hold her in. Pretty much. I mean, there was no doctor. They had to wait until she was...
You got the epidural, and then everything kind of stopped for a while. You like fell asleep, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pretty sure I was fully dilated though.
Okay.
Because I remember...
Right. If
there was no doctor.
If you had not gotten an epidural and there was a doctor there, you probably would have delivered right then.
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
But instead, you had the epidural. And it slowed everything down, and I think you slept for like 2 hours.
I needed sleep. I don't regret the epidural at all. Like, seriously. It was amazing. It was horrendous. So yeah, so the doctor gets there. My mom shows up right before that all happens too. So she's on the way. They're like an hour away. So this is like 3 hours, I would say, after my water broke. I had her. My mom gets here, the doctor gets here, and I've told the doctor already, I do not want the massage technique to my lady bits. And she gives me this lecture on how it's gonna save you and you're not gonna tear, and I'm like, there's no way, because I was still, like, even after I had Harrison, I was still in pain down there, and I truly believe that that's what caused it. And she was really upset that I wouldn't let her do that, and I was like, it's not yours, it's mine, so leave it alone. My mom gets there, the doctor's giving me a lecture about getting massaged to my lady bits, which I was like, there's no way you're doing that to me. So I think I push for like 15 minutes and she's out. You see the pictures that Will's gonna insert.
Which no one's ever seen.
No one's ever seen. And I'm gonna blur out my lady bits. You have to describe the pictures.
Let me explain the picture. So the picture is a horrified look on my face. But there's a reason. It's when Wynn came out, she was like purple.
Yeah.
And she wasn't like making sounds and stuff. And so I was scared that like she was dead. Like I was freaked out. And like, so I was like, you'll see my face. But like, that's the reason for my face. But it looks like it's like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, in the picture, my lady bits are out, and
there's blood.
There's blood everywhere, and she's purple. I mean, I guess I can see it from that perspective, but it looks like you're just more horrified that it's coming out of my hoo-ha than
it looks like that.
Than that she's hurt.
But I was really thinking it was like she's purple, and like it was scary.
But you wonder, like, she was in that canal for like longer than she probably should have been. If that had something to do with it, because. We've never had a purple baby before.
Yeah.
She's our first purple. So she came out. She was she was like 7'11", I think, her weight, and she was like 20 inches long. She had dark black hair. She was squished. She was adorable. She was my first little girl. I was so excited. It was amazing. I still look I look like a hot mess, because I had just had the flu. I remember the nurses, like, when I was having baby, they wouldn't come in, like, they would come in like hazmat suits. Yeah. They were like,
they would change it, they would like take it off every time and put new ones on. Like, they were afraid.
Yeah, they were afraid.
Always with the mask and full on.
They were full on, like, I'm not getting this. They must have known because it was bad. So I had her. It was amazing. She was such a good baby. She slept through the night the first night I had her. I remember thinking something was wrong. Like,
she slept all the time.
For the first 6 months of her life, she slept amazing. Best sleeper, best eater. She got so fat. Oh my gosh, that little girl was so fat. Love her. Like, chunky baby. It was so different from Harrison, and it was amazing. It was because Harrison's was so rough. Hers was so easy, technically, the birth, I guess, but she was really easy because I knew what I was doing. And she was the best sleeper in the world too, so.
Which means we got sleep.
Oh my
gosh. It was good.
It was so good. It was so good. She literally just sat in her bassinet for 6 months, just sitting there, looking around. She never made a peep. She never cried. Yeah. She's an angel baby, let me tell you. But I needed that for my second child. Like, I needed that. Thank goodness. So, then the last part of the story that I wanted to bring up, which I know I've told you, but I think maybe you've forgotten. The next morning, I'm just getting ready to go home. Our nurse comes in and she says, you know, I want to give you some advice. And I was like, okay. And she said, to keep your man happy, you got to put out. I know you might not want to. I know that it might be really not something you want to do and you get tired, but to keep your man happy and to keep him forever, keep putting out. This was a real conversation I had the day after I had.
What did you say?
Okay. What do you say? You crazy weirdo. Like, I just had a baby. Like, my lady bit's hurt. Like, I'm not thinking about that at all. But I had to mention that because that was part of the whole story. And I thought it was crazy that someone would say that to me. Yeah. So that is Wyn's birth story. It was crazy. It was amazing. I wish the flu didn't happen because it was horrendous. Yeah, but overall, I think really Harrison and Posey are the only normal labors I've had. The Wyn and the twins are crazy. Yeah. All right, that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thumb the video up for us. We'd super appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Don't forget, guys, you're wonderful.